Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the future. This is your Love Tarot reading for June 14th, 2020. Monday. Okay. Divinity. That's a fun one. Well, I often say that's a fun one because, when you look at your life and you think about the larger themes, where's divinity illustrated here and there? And for me, it's an audience prioritization. It's essentially saying, who am I performing for? What am I trying to impress a boss or a president or members of my tribe that I have the same ideology? Do I want kudos with my family? Do I want the respect of a loved one? Anyway, God's at the top of the list, and that's kind of a tough one because God doesn't always applaud you. You don't hear God cheer when you do the right thing that's hard or that you don't want to do or that variously is inconvenient. And yet, to be our best selves when no one visible is watching is indeed to be our best selves. Ooh, panopticon. All right, love. The Chariot. I like that in all the ways, starting off with a very portentous omen. But, I think that embedded within this is a warning against hubris. When you've achieved a measure of divinity, a measure of divine connection, a measure of grace, it's easy to forget what it's like before we get there. And if one rides aloof in a chariot, then there's no more connection. Eventually it goes away. King of Wands sort of fades, and you don't want to get rid of that. But regardless, back to the love thing. Always got to get big with it. A very good omen, being drawn to success, that there are people working for you and that you don't really have to move much to pull this one off. Had a fun story last night. A friend told me to woo the first attractive woman that I met, and I ultimately decided, thirst doesn't really drive me now that I know how to skip a drink or two. Bear that in mind, boys. If you want a sex culture that is less controlled by women, be less thirsty. Ooh. It's good. It's good advice. I think that's like something that the archetype of man would benefit from changing from. But hey, back to love. Oh, look, Page of Wands. So all about like formulating a new vision and a new approach and all of that stuff. So Page of Wands suggests the need to nurture fire. They need to once it's lit, to tend it and to develop it as one's able to, even in the absence of divinity, to still reflect upon it and understand that it is there. It's part of your life. Even if you don't think of divinity as God, I would broadly relate the notion of divinity to the idea of grace, to the idea of becoming a more elegantly complex system from simple materials. And if you work toward that in life, if you act with intention, if you live with intention, then gradually the quality of your performance goes up. And Page of Wands is kind of the reminder of that reflective capacity. Now, mind you, it's good to reflect. It's very good to reflect. I've spent a lot of time reflecting. After a period of reflection, though, it's very important to actually actuate and to stop reflecting, because we could fall down a rabbit hole and never come out. I like it in light of what I just said, especially the end of a cycle and all bowing before its mastery. As I said, one can fall into a rabbit hole of ways of being and never step out of it. I think that once fruits are gained, it's time to step out of it. What else could that mean? Death, chariot, Page of Wands. Well, let's see what the next card is, but could be... See, I don't like necessarily just the progression sample of like, this is happening now, and this will happen then, and this will happen even later. Usually a theme kind of emerges, and just a bit of like what are you doing there at this moment? But maybe we'll do a split. Let's see what the next card is. New movement, new direction. Okay, so perhaps that is that tending of the fire, that reflective capacity. This is the end of the reflective capacity. This is the new movement, new direction. You see, like how the Oracle can do it without the cards, and then just the cards sort of support it. I don't know, kids, try it at home. There's probably some science to suggest that it's confirmation bias, and by using a broad variety of archetypes and symbols in order to tell stories that are relevant on a broad level. But I think it's magic. Oh, goodness, greatest enemy. Laziness, procrastination, stillness, because this is suggesting the movement. This is suggesting that you're going to be pulled regardless. Speed things up and put this guy to sleep for a little while. Oh, love of the divine. You got to work for the love of the divine. It comes pretty easily, but it's still work. And the greatest ally is those peers of yours that have the same notion of divinity. Again, whether it's just attachment to an abstract idea such as grace, or a love of the development of a truthful understanding of the universe itself, or maybe like an inherent energetic connection with other people around you, or maybe the snuffleupagus. Either way, you'll feel better about yourself if you follow your heart. And those whose hearts are aligned similarly will take courage from that and be drawn to your example, be drawn to your love of divinity such that they can express it more bravely. If no one's talking about it, it's really tough to express it. And I don't want to say go out there and proselytize, but just be excellent at how you love what you consider to be divine, and don't just say empty words about how much you love this or that without actually participating in a life that reflects the values of whatever your divinity is. May your divinity be a nice one. No, may your divinity be a kind one. Gemini, thank you for watching. Have a good day.